Hey everybody, this is Gerald Rogers. Today we are talking about one of the most powerful tools you'll have to be able to really understand yourself and others so you know how to communicate and enroll and influence others effectively. This is called the Soul Script Personality Experience. So who are you? I mean, like, really, who are you? How well do you understand yourself? And how well do you understand the other people around you? This idea of personality archetypes has existed for generations, for centuries. In fact, this personality archetype system we're going to be sharing with you, where we break it into 4 different systems, goes all the way back to the days of Plato and Socrates. And it's something that's been a science that's evolved over time. And there's a lot of different personality tests. You might have heard of the DISC personality test, or Breyers-Mig, or you might have heard of, the color code, or, the Colby index. There's a lot of different personality systems that are out there. But what I'm going to share with you is a very simple one that we've created and developed after years of research to help you understand yourself better so that you know what drives and motivates you at a core level. And then by understanding this, you'll also really get the other people in your life and how to motivate, inspire, and enroll them as well. So whether you are using this just to have better relationships in your life, whether you're using this to know how to discover your own gifts and purposes, or whether you're using this as a tool to help you be more effective at sales enrollment, you'll find this information extremely powerful. But I want you to get tuned into, why is this information so important to you? Why is it so important to understand what your true soul script personality is? Well, here's 3 specific things that are going to happen when you understand the soul script personality. Number 1, first and foremost, you'll get a glimpse into the core drivers and motivators that cause you to make the decisions that you do. Sometimes we're so busy living in our body that we don't even understand why we're motivated to do certain things and why we hate other things. We have no idea why certain things bug us and other things excite us. So understanding this archetype, this personality system that we're going to share with you, is going to give you a clear awareness of what drives and motivates, inspires you. Second key, you're also going to discover your strengths, your gifts. Like, there is a unique personality set that you've been given in your life that is the guide to understanding what your soul purpose might be and what your greatest strengths and talents are in the world. And the third key is it gives you a framework to be able to interact and communicate with others. Because it's almost like each of these different personality types have a different language that they use and a different way of listening and understanding because of the way that they see the world. So by the end of this experience, you're going to be able to understand whether or not you're a warrior, whether or not you're an oracle, whether or not you're a visionary, or whether or not you're a healer. And ultimately, by going through this process, I'm going to be walking you through 10 specific questions that are going to help you understand your core natural tendencies in terms of personalities. By going through this system, you're going to be able to communicate and understand others as well. So let's dig into this. And what I'm going to need you to do right now is pull out a blank piece of paper. Do this. This is an interactive training because this is all about understanding you. And then I'm going to be breaking down what these specific things mean. So pull out a blank piece of paper. It doesn't need to be this big. Just pull out a blank 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, or even smaller. And what you'll be doing is you'll be creating 4 different columns. So draw a line and then 3 lines. So you have 4 different columns. And then you're going to put an A, B, a C, and a D in each of these different columns. Okay? So go ahead and pause this video if needed until this is done. So you should have this core grid laid out. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to read 10 different questions. And I'm going to have you rank each one of these questions based on the statement that number 1 best represents you, number 2 second best represents you, third best, and 4th least represents you. So you're going to put a 1, 2, 3, and 4 under each of the different questions. All right, you got this? So I'm going to read the question twice. If you need to pause, but make sure that you put a number under each one of the different things. All right, So this is it. This is the Soul Script personality test. And this, as I begin this, I want to lay a full disclaimer. I created this test as a simple way at our events or when I'm working with clients to give people a very quick way to do it. Now, there are much more complicated tests and assessments out there, but it doesn't need to be complicated because you'll find that even within these 10 questions, you'll get a lot of clarity really, really, really quickly. And the other thing I want to emphasize is there's nothing that locks you into just one personality type. The truth is you are every one of these. You are a warrior, you are a healer, you are a warrior, you are a oracle. You have all of these different archetypes inside of you, but it's important to be able to know that there is a natural tendency in which you most likely and most easily show up in the world. And then there's other ones that are more adaptive and the ones that you can learn. So this is a big conversation. We're just gonna give you an overview right now, but I'm gonna read these questions and answer. So let's begin. Question number 1. Are you ready? Once again, a 1 will go under the one that best represents you, 2, second best, 3rd, and then 4th is the one that least represents you. So first question, I'm gonna read it all the way through. I'm gonna have you mark it down and then I'm gonna read it again. So when I'm in a group of people and a predicament comes up, I am A, systematic and strategic, B, concerned about others, C, creative in solving problems, or D, decisive. So once again, put a 1 by the one that best represents you. So A, once again, is strategic and systematic. B, you're concerned about others. C, creative in solving problems, or D, decisive. All right, so mark down a 1 by the one that best represents you, 2, second best, and so forth. All right, we're moving on. Once again, pause if you ever need to think about it a little bit more. But number 2, when I have the opportunity to meet someone for the first time, I am A, reserved and observant. B, welcoming and friendly. C, outgoing and funny. Or D, bold and direct. So one more time. When I have the opportunity to meet someone for the first time, I am A, reserved and observant. B, welcoming and friendly. C, outgoing and funny. Or D, bold and direct. All right, we're moving on to number 3. I consider myself to be A, diligent and dependable. B, peaceful and laid back. C, passionate and animated. Or D, competitive and productive. So once again, I consider myself to be A, diligent and dependable. B, peaceful and laid back. C, passionate and animated. Or D, competitive and productive. Got it? All right, next question. Whether speaking to a group or an individual, I want to be seen as A, intellectual and prepared. B, supportive and connected. C, inspiring and motivating. D, confident and powerful. So once again, whether speaking to a group or an individual, I want to be seen as A, intellectual and prepared. B, supportive and connected. C, inspiring and motivating. Or D, confident and powerful. Next, I don't interact well with people who are A, unorganized and chaotic. B, controlling and insensitive. C, meticulous and critical. Or D, slow and indecisive. So once again, you're gonna put a 1 by the one that you least like. The characteristics that bug you the most. So 1 will go by the one that of the people that you don't interact well with. So once again, I don't interact well with people who are A, unorganized and chaotic. B, controlling and insensitive, C, meticulous and critical, or D, slow and indecisive? All right, next question. My approach when communicating would be best described as A, accurate and logical, B, compassionate and understanding, C, exciting and energetic, or D, direct and unapologetic. So once again, my approach when communicating would be best described as A, accurate and logical, B, compassionate and understanding, C, exciting and energetic, or D, direct and unapologetic. Good job, you're doing great. Once again, pause if you need to, rewind if you need to, just make sure that you get these all marked so that you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 by each one of these answers. So next, when managing my time, I like to A, have things scheduled and planned, B, follow my intuition, C, go to the next fun thing, or D, be efficient. So once again, when managing my time, I like to A, have things scheduled and planned, B, follow my intuition, C, go to the next fun thing, or D, be efficient. All right, next, in relation to leaders, I tend to A, like exact instructions, B, just want the best for everyone, C, resist being told what to do, or D, tend to be the leader. So in relation to leaders, I tend to A, like exact instructions, B, want the best for everyone, C, resist being told what to do, or D, you tend to be the leader. All right, next question. I am motivated most by A, security and certainty, B, by deep connection and contribution, C, by freedom and growth, or D, by competition and success. So I am most motivated by A, security and certainty, B, deep connection and contribution, C, freedom and growth, or D, competition and success. All right, so we're on the final question. When given an assignment, I am A, methodical in finishing it, B, concerned about others, C, able to think outside the box, D, the first to finish. When given an assignment, I am A, methodical in finishing it, B, concerned about others, C, able to think outside the box, or D, the first to finish. So there's 10 questions. Now here's the fun part. What does it mean? So what you're going to be doing is you should have numbers in each of these columns for each of the different things. So once again, you're going to have your numbers lined out in each of the different columns any way they are. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be totaling up all 10 numbers for column A, all 10 numbers for column B, all for column C, and all for column D. So go ahead and add up all of your column A, add up all of your column B, add up all of your column C and all of your column D, and then we're going to reveal the answers. So go ahead and do that now. All right, welcome back. So you should have numbers lined up. If you haven't finished this, pause the video, add up all your numbers so we can give you the final results. So you ready? So for those of you that have the lowest number is reflective of your primary soul script personality type. So for those of you that have the lowest number in column A, you are An oracle. For those of you that have the lowest number in column B, you are a healer. For those of you that are in column C, you are a visionary. And for those of you that have the lowest number in column D, you are what we call a warrior. So right now in the comments below, in the chat below, chime in and say what your dominant personality archetype is. And what I'm going to be doing is sharing with you in the next videos what each of these are. I'm going to give you a brief overview right now, but then I've got a special training on each one of these different personalities where we can go really deep into understanding you. But let me just give you the brief overview. If some of you might have a tie between them, that just means that you have those attributes really close. And what's important to understand about these personality types is different situations are going to bring out different elements inside of you. Different people, when you're around different people, you're going to show up in different ways. But what we're looking for is what are the core natural ways that you show up in life, because that'll give you some clues to your strengths. And we always tend to be a combination of our primary and secondary. So for instance, a visionary healer, someone that has primary visionary and a secondary of healer, is going to see the world very differently than a visionary warrior because of the way those interact. But these different energy types are what allows us to know how to interact and engage in the world, and in different situations we're going to show up in different ways. So let's just talk about this real quick, and then you can go through the in-depth videos to understand yourself and others even more clearly. So the oracle personality, the oracle is the personality that's systematic, that's very rules driven. They love order, they love being able to have clearly defined outcomes and to have a path to move forward with that. The oracle energy tends to be very still, and from the outside seems very reserved. It's a very deep energy that has the ability to drive towards perfection because it loves perfection. And once again, we'll go deeper into this in the video, but chime in the chat below if you're an oracle and that relates to you. A healer personality, these are the lovers. These are the ones that are so heart-centered. They're compassionate, they're caring, they're focused on making a difference. They really are empathic and feel deeply. They love meaningful connection, and these are the ones that have the ability to really slow down and care about the people that they're with. So once again, if that's you, chime in the chat below. Next is the visionary. The visionary are the playful, fun, outrageous personality types. These are the ones that are excited about taking action quickly, and they move to the next fun thing. They're really motivated by change and growth and evolution. They're very extroverted in their personality type, and they love being able to inspire and motivate others. So that's the visionary. And then the warrior is the energy that just likes to get things done. They're very direct, they're very bold, they're very outcome focused. They love competition, they're driven by success. They love to find the fastest and easiest way to get done. So hopefully that gives you an overview, but go deeper. Check out the next 4 videos, because these videos are going to go in depth into each of these different personality types and helping you understand the strengths, the weaknesses, and the core motivators of each one of these. So check out the videos below and make sure you subscribe so that you have access to all of these trainings and more. And just remember that understanding who you are in the world is the first step to being able to claim your legendary life. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.